Summer is the perfect time to source out a new Bluetooth speaker. I'm Erin from TechGadgetsCanada.com for Best Buy Canada's blog. And ahead of nearly every summer season, Sony releases new versions of its uber-popular extra bass lineup of wireless speakers. This year I had the opportunity to get hands-on with the newest iterations. There's the Sony SRS-XB23, the XB33, and the SRS-XB43. I'm going to tell you all about them, what they can do, how they sound, and whether you might want to pick one up not just for summer, but to bring the party with you for the rest of the year. An early heads up, if you end up liking this video and finding it helpful, to please hit that like button and give us a sub, because it does help us keep making more videos that we hope everyone out there can watch, enjoy, and learn from.
There are 3 speakers in this series, each a bit different from the other. Naturally, as they step up in size and power, they also step up in price too. These are often billed as party speakers thanks to their power, portability, and on the larger 2, built-in LED lighting effects. The 3 speakers in this line are similar but different. The 2 larger ones, the Sony SRS-XB33 and the Sony SRS-XB43, can be used standing on their ends or lying on their sides. They have a flat front and flat base. The Sony SRS-XB23 is a cylinder. Each of these speakers has a rubber door in the back protecting other buttons and connectors.
Not surprisingly, these speakers step up in wattage and volume as they get bigger. Now, Sony doesn't make finding the sound specs easy for the 23 or the 33. I couldn't find anything about them. But the SRS-XB43 sound specs, I will tell you, there are 2 16-watt speakers, 2 0.79-inch woofers, and 20mm tweeters.
The Sony SRS-XB23, 33, and the full-sized 43 are all rated against water and dirt penetration. They have the rating of IP67, which means each is fully protected from dirt and dust and can withstand water and even salt water. The 2 larger speakers, as I said, have built-in lighting effects that will flash and pulse to the beat of what's playing. The XB33 has 2 behind-the-grille lights and LED color-changing banding around the edges. The 43 has 4 lights under the grille and the same LED color-changing banding. The XB22, though, has no lighting options, unlike the original XB21, by the way.
To get the most out of these speakers, you will need not 1, but 2 apps. The Sony Music Center app allows you to adjust some settings and check things like detailed battery levels. But if you want control over the lighting on the XB33 and the 43, you will also need the Sony Fiestable app.
You can customize the lighting effects and colors using the Fiestable app. There's a bunch of different color options, flashing effects, and more, which you can set or play with live. This is definitely fun. Oddly though, it seems to me these features all used to be available in the Music Center app, and why Sony has split this function into 2 apps is a bit beyond me.
Let's get down to sound quality. These speakers all sound excellent. Not surprisingly, the power and overall audio quality steps up as you go up the line, with the XB43 here, the biggest, baddest, and most powerful, not to mention the heaviest, I guess, of all. Even so, each of the speakers, even the, I'm going to set this down carefully, the wallet-friendlier and much more compact, not to mention lighter, XB23 also sounds quite good. My preference overall was definitely for the XB43 though. I thought it sounded bigger, louder, more resonant, deeper, and more detailed, with substantially more bass. The XB33 here, by comparison, sounded a bit thinner. Now, you probably wouldn't notice this unless you happen to spend time with both of them side by side, switching between them, but if audio quality is paramount, you definitely want to go big here.
There is obviously a lot of bass here in the XB43, and you can feel it and see it in a table or a surface. I had this speaker camping with me and used it extensively outdoors too, and it was easily able to fill our area with sound. Each of these speakers sounds great with clear vocals, and the overall sound quality is well balanced. For me, only high fives here when it comes to overall audio quality of the Sony SRS-XB lineup.
Though there are some differences between each speaker, they do each have some common features too. Sony's extra bass technology is the key, and that's what they are named for and what the XB in the name stands for. Extra bass technology essentially lets you get more bass out of your music. The Sony Extra Bass headphones and speakers use what's called an electro bass booster to make the lower tones of the bass lines more prominent. This battery-powered enhancer digitally improves lower-end frequencies in the music, and that in turn boosts the bass. This feature can be turned on or off to suit your music or your mood.
Live sound is another feature of the XB33 and 43 portable speakers. Activating this function is done with the touch of a button on top of the speakers. Now, live mode is apparently supposed to give you a more live and in-person sound. I wouldn't say it enhanced the sound in that way, but it definitely did change it, making the music less bass-heavy and maybe leaned it more towards the high end. For me personally, this setting wasn't hugely popular, but it is a noticeable difference.
These speakers have a feature called Party Connect, which I think was formerly called Party Chain, which essentially lets you connect and group multiple speakers to the same source. With compatible Sony devices, you can connect up to 100, yes, 100 speakers in the chain. Not only will the music play across all the devices, but the lights, if your speakers have them, will match up too. I've got full instructions for how to do it at blog.bestbuy.ca. I tried this feature out and I am happy to report it worked well and was really easy to get it going.
You are also supposed to be able to pair two of the speakers to create a stereo pair, left and right channels.
The full instructions are also on the blog, but I couldn't get this feature to work after about half a dozen attempts. The steps are rather finicky, and after each try, my phone would become disconnected and wouldn't reconnect between the phone and the speakers while the stereo pairing lights were on. During my testing period, I was unable to make this feature work at all. The battery life in these speakers is decent, but it hasn't improved at all since I first reviewed this lineup about 2 or 3 years ago. The XB23 here has about 12 hours of battery life. The medium-sized XB33 here gets 24 hours of battery life, and the big hulking XB43 also will give you 24 hours of battery life. Now, when it comes to setup for these devices, it is super simple. Power them on by pushing and holding the power button. That should automatically put it into pairing mode for your first use. Go to your phone or device's Bluetooth menu, select the speaker, and tap to connect. I went through this numerous times with each speaker, and every time it worked perfectly. If you do need to re-enable pairing, just push the Bluetooth button. Overall, these are great speakers. They sound great, they're a breeze to set up and use, and even getting the Party Chain feature going was easy. If there are any downsides, it's with the little things, like needing 2 apps to control both the settings and the audio effect. I was also frustrated and surprised that I couldn't get the stereo pairing to work. Overall, if you are looking to upgrade your Bluetooth speakers, you will be pretty happy about choosing any of the Sony speakers here in the lineup, whether that's the XB23, XB33, or the XB43, depending of course on your space and budget and sound needs. If you want to read more about them, head over to blog.bestbuy.ca, where we've posted a full write-up. You can ask us any questions you have about any of these speakers, either there on the blog or, as always, here on the YouTube channel. I'm Erin. Thanks so much for watching. Until the next time, you can find me on either Twitter or Instagram. Hit me up at ErinLYYC. You can also catch me through Facebook at facebook.com/TechGadgetsCanada.